Brother there.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ibrahim Hussain, and this question is to Dr. Zakir Naik. I have been watching your tapes on Hinduism, and the thing that surprises me is the Hindus wear the beads around their necks, and they use tasbih counting beads in their prayer. If you look at the history also of the religious men of Hinduism, they used to move their heads left to right in prayer. My question is, nowhere in the Quran or Sunnah did the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wear the beads, nor use tasbih counting beads in prayer, nor did he move his head left to right in zikr, nor did he do a congregation dua after every salah. So why are the Muslims wearing the beads, using counting beads, moving their heads left to right in zikr, and doing congregation dua after every salah? The Prophet, peace be upon him, nor did the companion did any of this. So why are the Muslims doing this? To Dr. Zakir Naik.
Thank you. Jazakallah.
If I'm not mistaken, this question is asked by Hindu. You said on Hinduism. Hindus are doing. Why are the Hindus wearing the taweez?
No. The Hindus wear the beads here, and they have this kind of counting beads here.
Rosary bead.
Yeah. When they're in prayer. So knowing the Quran Sunnah, did the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, like Muslims do when they say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, with the counting beads, the Prophet didn't do this. So
I can't understand the question. Are you talking why the Muslims are doing or why the Hindus are doing?
The
Why will the Hindus follow the Prophet Muhammad?
Why are the Muslims doing that?
Why Muslims are doing?
Yeah, why it's a practice of
similar as the Hindus are doing.
Yeah.
That's right. So your question I understood correctly now, that the Hindus wear taweez and wear the rosary bead, etc. Even the Muslims are doing that, even though the Prophet did not do. So why are they doing that? That's the question. Brother, as far as the taweez that is there, I do know that it's done. There are taweez are worn by some groups of Muslims coming from, not in India, there are even other parts of the world. And many of the Hindus also go to these dargahs, etc. and they wear the taweez. And again, the rosary bead, it is done by the Christians, done by the Hindus also, done by certain groups of Muslims also. Though you're perfectly right that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we don't find any hadith. In fact, tying the taweez, it leads to shirk. Well, if you have to ask for help, you have to ask to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. If you ask to anyone else, that leads to shirk. So these things are normally have crept into the religion, though it has got no authentic source. And many of the things that have crept in is mainly because in India, if you analyze, our great-great-grandfathers, they were Hindus. Some may be having Arab blood, but most of them don't have Arab blood. Fine. So because many of us accepted Islam, our earlier great-great-grandfathers, there you find that they have changed. So when they change the religion, something which is there in our previous culture, our previous religion, something remains. So that's the reason instead of going to temple, now we are going to dargah. So these practices have stuck, which is wrong. So what we have to do, we have to convey the message to these Muslims that you don't find such practices anywhere in the Quran and the Sunnah. Certain things which is not against the Sharia. And if it's there in the culture, it can be practiced, certain things. Which is not going against the Islamic Sharia, you can practice. But there are certain things which goes against the Islamic Sharia, like wearing a taweez. Fine? And doing zikr in the way which the Prophet never did. So these things are against the Quran and Sunnah. We have to educate these Muslim brothers that if you have to do any worship, it should have, the worship you do should be somewhat similar, which is mentioned either in the Quran or the Sahih Hadith. What is not mentioned in the Quran and Sahih Hadith, we Muslims should not do that style. So we have to educate them, brother. Hope that's the question.
Jazakallah khairan. A question on behalf of the sisters.